Welcome back to part 2 of the Praxis Probiotics Thrive Together interview with my dear friend Sophie Sparham. In part 1, we was having a chinwag about various things. Feel free to go and have a gander if you've not yet done that. You was telling us about the year that's just passed and some of these exciting goals that you set yourself. We didn't quite get onto how it all went. So would you be able to give us a little recap?
So just to give a little recap, so me and my friend Laura got together and we decided that we wanted to raise some money for 3 local charities, Women's Centre, local branch Samaritans and the Padley Centre. And how we decided to do that, we decided that we were going to do 2 runs. So we were going to do a half marathon, we were going to do a full marathon, and then we also formed a kind of female Bruce Springsteen tribute band, and we put on a gig at the Hairy Dog in Derby. So yeah, that's what we did, and overall we managed to raise around £1,500.
Massive. That's amazing.
Which is great.
That's fantastic.
It was really great, and so each charity got around £500 each. So I'm proud of that. Like, I'm really proud. I feel like I've done something with my year, which is nice.
Absolutely, and we were saying in part 1 that so you contacted Sarai,
yes,
who was your singing coach,
yes,
Sarai Jazz,
yeah, she's brilliant, yeah.
And you'd never sung before?
No, never sung before. Like, apart from, if you count being in like a rock band at the age of 14 in my friend's garage, which I loved, but I've never sung. I suppose, I don't know if you count as professionally, but I never sung to an audience that we end up singing to.
Absolutely.
It was crazy.
At the Hairy Dog?
Yes, I didn't expect, like, I just thought, I thought I'll be really happy if 50 people come. And then the room was packed out. I couldn't believe it. So yeah, it was great. It's definitely one of the highlights of my year.
So that was quite bold, I think. And I was chatting about it before, but in terms of, I found it really inspiring actually. Like, you stepped out of your comfort zone. Did you feel like you were stepping out of your comfort zone with that?
I was really nervous about it.
Yeah.
I was really nervous. I was really nervous that no one would show up. Mm-hmm. I just thought, God, what if people don't turn up? And then I got all these like session musicians in, and like, because although they're all my friends and mine and Laura's friends, like, they're all proper like musicians. Like, we had my friend Carol Hodge, mm-hmm. who she is a solo musician in her own right and a mm-hmm. music teacher, and she also plays with Steve Ignorant's band Slice of Life, mm-hmm. and then we had people like, so I had Nick McCann, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. For anyone that needs guitar lessons or whatever, would recommend. He's
mm-hmm.
a lovely guy.
Absolutely.
So he was on guitar, but yeah, he's obviously a real musician. and then obviously and then my partner Gez, mm-hmm. he was on bass, and we had Lauren, who she's a drummer that she's moved up to Newcastle now, but she was working for Gez at the time, and yeah, so all these people. Oh, and I can't miss out Becky Deans, who mm-hmm. is an amazing saxophone player as mm-hmm. well in her own right, as well as a great poet. So yeah, we had all these people, and then there's me and Laura like learned backing, and she did like the backing vocals for the gig, and that was a big deal for her because she's had various singing lessons and stuff before, but she'd never performed like that, and so she was really nervous. I was absolutely bricking myself because I thought, I'm used to being on stage, but I'm not used to that singing, just completely out of my comfort zone. So it was mad, but it was so much fun.
So tell us a little bit, if you're willing, like, why Bruce Springsteen?
Well,
what's the relevance to you?
Loads of different reasons. Okay, so firstly, my best friend Emily bought me a zine around Christmas time that was called But Springsteen, and it's just a zine about Bruce Springsteen's arse, basically. And it was written by this like zine maker and comic book maker guy, and when he was a teenager he basically discovered he was gay through watching Bruce Springsteen music videos and looking at his arse. And it's just about that. It's about his arse throughout the ages, and it's silly, but it's really nice, and it was just kind of. And I love the fact that it was just queerifying something that was so masculine. And I thought, God, you know, that's amazing. It's just taking something that's like so kind of heteronormative and just kind of putting that little twist on it. And I really like that. And also my dad is a massive Bruce Springsteen fan. And when I was a kid, he used to play Bruce Springsteen in the car all the time. And I kind of grew up around dad rock. I'm a big dad rock fan. I'm just going to put that out there now. I'm not ashamed of it. And yeah, so he's playing that in the car all the time and that, and I just loved it. And I felt like when I got a bit older, because obviously I suppose I was more in the punk and metal community. When I got a bit older, I went back and I listened to Springsteen's lyrics and what he was singing about like the everyday kind of blue collar working man and austerity and people struggling for jobs and people, you know, struggling to keep relationships alive and people just trying to survive. I really, really resonated with me, like with what we're currently going through in the UK and what's happening. And I thought, God, yeah, I really relate to these lyrics. Like, and it inspired a lot of my poetry and stuff. And I thought, you know what? I'm gonna do my own But Springsteen version. I'm gonna be Bruce Springsteen. I'm gonna like take it and I'm gonna get as many female musicians as I can, and I'm gonna put us together. And obviously, you know, Gez and Nick as well, like some great male musicians. And I thought I'm going to put us together, but I'm going to be a woman Bruce Springsteen. I'm just going to feminise it a little bit. And like saying, I think a lot of people were really like a bit surprised. They were like, okay, but you know, but you're like, you love Napalm Death and you're a massive fan of like punk. And they were like, that's a bit odd. And I was like, yeah, but it's cool. I was like, I'm cool with it. And I love all sorts of music. So like we was chatting a bit, like, you know, I love anything from like hip hop to extreme metal to all these sorts of different things. So like.
And you were just doing your thing.
I was just doing my thing.
You weren't conforming to what people might have expected.
No,
or anything like that. You had a passion. You had something that meant something to you, and you had an idea. Yeah. And you acted on it. For me, being cool really isn't important. Like, if I wanted to be cool, I wouldn't have formed a Bruce Springsteen tribute band. Let's be honest. But I just wanted to. I think you can be having like, because the thing is with running, it's great and it's a big achievement, but it's not something that you can really celebrate with the local community. I mean, I could in terms of talking to people, but what I really wanted to do was create a night that was fun. Yeah. And me and Laura was talking about this, and we were like, we want a night, we want people to go out and enjoy themselves and come together as a community, raise some money for the local community, because I think people underestimate the power of like positive spaces, and I think having fun and having like rejoicing and enjoying something can be a political act in itself. Absolutely.
Because it's the fact that there's so much bad stuff going on, but it's the fact that we can get the community together and we can have one night and we can just have fun. And that's what I wanted to do. I just wanted to be silly. I just wanted to just have a night of silliness and just great music and just get people dancing, and I wanted to wear double denim and I wanted to just be ridiculous, basically. So that's what we did.
Well done.
It was great. It was a lot of fun, and we made a Donald Trump pinata as well. Like, it was made at Laura's flat. Like, loads of people, members of the community, and like, loads of her friends helped make it. Like our friend Eva and Alish, who were really great mates of ours, and James and Ruth, Soundbites and Yaffle came and helped make it, and loads of different people. Like Laura's friends made it, and this pinata was like this big.
I imagine it was thoroughly respected and still intact.
Oh, I think you'd be lucky to find like the little pieces of it when it was done. And we wanted people. So for the last song, we did "Born in the USA," and that's a song that I think is really like misinterpreted, because it's a song which is about the Vietnam War and about how that messed up so many people and about how needless it was. But I think a lot of people kind of misinterpret it and think it's about like, yeah, it's about being American, it's about that, which it's not. It's the opposite thing. And so I didn't want anyone to misinterpret what we were trying to say on stage. So we were like, okay, so Laura, like, I'm rubbish at making things. This was very much in Laura's department, but she was like, right, I'm gonna make this thing, and we just filled it with loads of stuff from a post-Trump utopia. So we had like people wrote loads of phrases on it, like every Trump washed away in the end and things like that. And put sweets in it and all this sorts of stuff, and then and when she actually brought it out, she got this massive like painting pole thing to bring it out on. And when she brought it out, it was too heavy and it dropped into the crowd. And it just fell into the crowd, and I was just there like with them. I was like, oh, and so people were just chucking it around, and I was like trying to be like, smash it, smash the pinata, and people were like, oh right. But yeah, put a lot of layers on it, and I think it was quite hard for them to break. But I'm sure that they mustered it up inside them to break Donald Trump's face. So yeah,
bizarre.
I know. Where does that anger come from?
So yeah, it was a great night. It was a great night, and I love what you're talking about, creating positive spaces for people to come together and celebrate people's achievements as well. And there was a real sense on the evening that people were there to have a great time, but to celebrate you and to celebrate your achievements as well. You know, you're highly respected in the community, and you know you practice what you preach largely, and you are an example of somebody who walks the talk and you act. You know, you take action and you make a difference, and you're a very, very inspiring person to many people, and that's a really wonderful example to set. So hats off, my friend. Like, I think it's a brilliant thing. It was meant to be a one-off, right? So that's that. You know, for anybody that wasn't there, it's too late. It's just going to go down in the oral history of this bizarre little city of ours, or maybe not.
It was meant to be a one-off. It was meant to be a one night only, but I enjoyed it so much. I just said like, you know, I want to keep doing it. So some, like, you know, so a few people like Gez and Nick stayed. For some people, obviously, they moved away or they couldn't, like, we just didn't feel it was right for them to, you know, carry on playing. So I've had a bit of a shift in members, and there is a new Bruce Springsteen band version. There's a new D Street band, so we're still rehearsing, and we're gonna go out as just like a general tribute outfit next year. So
cool.
I'm really excited about it. It makes me very happy. I just wake up and I just think, I'm in a Bruce Springsteen tribute band. That's mental.
So when can people check you next? Because we're going to move on and want to talk about some really wonderfully inspiring things you've been doing.
The next place that we're playing, so me and Nick McCann, we're going to be doing a gig at the Queen's Head in Belper on the 25th of January. So it's going to be called a brew stick because it's acoustic Bruce. So you'll be there. So yeah, so that's our next gig.
Hats off. So you know, we've spoken about spoken word, and we spoke about you being a rock star, and working at Sound Bites, and there's many more things. It was a year of sobriety that you did, and which is something that we spoke about this. I'm currently undertaking a year of sobriety too, and I think that's a really interesting thing. I'm currently, and we spoke about like really important services that exist in the city as well for different groups of people. You spoke about how you was raising money for Derby Women's Centre, and obviously the Samaritans and Padley. We spoke a little bit about Padley, and there's Aquarius, which help people with recovery from alcohol, and you've been doing some work with them.
Yeah, so
as well as just to give you, you know, free rein with this section. You know, we spoke earlier about the kind of your audience and different segments of society, maybe people that are kind of like either demonized or outcasted or discriminated against and things like that. And one thing that I really admire about you is that you do lots of workshop facilitation work with like writing and creative writing and things like that with various different groups in the city. So I would just love to hear a little bit more about that, what you've been up to and how you found that.
Yeah, no, it's something that's really important for me, because I think writing, you know, it's a free thing that people can do. It doesn't cost any money. All you need is a pen and some paper, and that's it. You can write and it's really, writing poetry. I think a lot of people, when they start out writing, it's for therapy. It's to get stuff that's in their head out onto paper. And I do a lot of work with different groups. So this year I did a project with Right East Midlands, and I worked with a kind of women's housing centre in Buxton, and those women had either experienced domestic violence, or they were recovering from alcohol, or they'd been homeless, and we did work with them, and that was amazing. And just to see them develop and realise that they can write, that they can do it, because there's a massive myth around writing as well. People think, oh, I've got to be like Shakespeare or something to get something down, and you don't at all. It's a completely subjective and personal thing, and it's just, and I like going around and breaking those boundaries with people and just being like, no, look, you can do this. You just got to, just setting up some things for people, setting them some prompts or some exercises, and then bringing them out themselves. So yeah, I did some work with them. Other groups I've worked in, I've been in various schools this year doing workshops. Did some work with kind of an autistic unit at school. They were amazing. When I went in, the teacher was like, I don't know how they're going to deal with this, because obviously, autism is such a wide spectrum in general, but then also trying to be like, emotions, those things that you can struggle to articulate sometimes. So but it went really well, and they wrote a load of stuff, and that was amazing. And then, like I say, I did a creative writing workshop at Aquarius, which was great, and just brilliant to work with those guys. I love Aquarius. I run a book club there, and that's really great. They called it Hooked on Books, which I think is brilliant. Nice. And the idea was with that, we managed to get some funding for some books and stuff, and that was awesome. And so they'll turn up, we'll send them a book to read each month, go away, read the book, come back, we talk about the book, and then give out the new book, and then we discuss what they would like to, read the following month. I don't think I should dictate to them what they should be reading. I think they should decide as a group what they want to read. I'm not here to be like, you should read this. It's all about them coming together and making those decisions, and it's just a nice space, and they're so nice. I love working with them. They're just such great people. They just make me laugh as well. I make me laugh so much. I did a workshop for the Inside Out project as well, which is kind of a project in Derby for people that have come out of prison and they might be on probation or whatever, and you have some support. So they create a writing workshop with them. Loads of things.
It's brilliant. It's absolutely, it's close to my heart, having been a youth worker for many years, but just this idea that everybody's experiences are completely valid, and especially when you're working with people which might be engaging with experiences or lifestyles, or they might be in various different ways either kind of, like I said before, kind of demonized or oppressed or discriminated against or excluded in various different ways. Not only is their voice relevant, but they have actually gone through things, they've experienced things like we all have, like everybody watching this now has, which are completely unique experiences, unique to them, and they're not only valid, but they're deeply valuable experiences. And like you said, you don't need to be somebody who's ever put pen to paper in this way before. However you choose to put the pen to the paper, whatever words you choose to use, or again, they're not only okay, they're perfect. If it's come from you, if it's you capturing your experience, then it's incredibly valuable, and to share that as well with people. I mean, if you're not sharing it, it's still completely valuable as a process. It can be deeply therapeutic, it can be empowering, and these sorts of things. But for other people that aren't acquainted with some of these experiences, they're not familiar with these experiences or these social realities, it can also be very enlightening, illuminating, and sort of informative. Do you know what I mean? It's like a really kind of empowering and useful way to help people understand more about issues that maybe they personally haven't been affected by. And I think that to work with people who don't have many platforms often to share their stories or their experiences and really help empower that and inspire that process is such a crucially important thing to be doing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it's really important. I think everyone's got a story to tell. Everyone's voice is valid, and there's nothing more than I love than going to a workshop and being around people that have been misunderstood in some way, or been deemed to be this or deemed to be that, or society thinks this about us, or I can't write, I'm not a writer, I've never done this before, and then go, okay, well, let's just have a go at these things, and some of them you might like, some of them you might not, we'll just have a see, and then at the end someone will come and be like, I feel really good, or I'm really proud about what I've written, or I can't believe I wrote that, and I'm like, yeah man, it's amazing, I love it, I just think it's the best feeling in the world for me,
Yeah.
I just think it's amazing. So yeah, I love it. I love doing that sort of work, and that's, I love gigging, and I love doing, gigs and stuff like that, and that's amazing, and it's awesome. But I also I love facilitating those sorts of workshops, because it's a really fulfilling thing for me.
Absolutely, there's a real need for it as well, I think, and it's wonderful to see, I don't know, people facilitating these workshops that really understand the value of that work, and people that are really passionate about these kind of processes, enabling other people to engage with them and see how they can actually enrich, uplift and empower those people's lives. I just think it's such a profoundly important thing to be doing, so hats off.
Yeah man, but then there's loads of other brilliant writers and poets and stuff doing stuff like what I'm doing as well. So it's not just me.
No.
There's loads of great people out there doing loads of really, really good work.
Absolutely, there's some grand eggs knocking about the place.
Yeah.
Before we have to say goodbye, we've got a good handful of minutes left, I believe. But so we spoke a little bit about a year that's passed, and we're getting to the end of 2018.
Yeah.
What are your kind of maybe hopes for the year ahead? Or any intentions, hopes, goals that you set yourself at the moment? Any way you'd like it to be different or more of the same?
I don't know. I'm generally really excited about next year, and I don't know why, because there's nothing mad planned. But my main goal, which has got nothing to do with my work, is I just want to pass my motorbike test. So I want to do that. Yeah. That's my goal. Yeah. But I suppose I just want to try and do more of the same work, and I'm trying to write I'm trying to write a show piece now, so going away from featured slots of poetry, I'm trying to write something that I can have a show out of. So that's what I'm working on at the moment, since very early stages.
Okay. So, Could you tell us a little bit more about that vision?
I'll tell you a little bit more.
It's a little snapshot.
But it's just going to be, I suppose it's just going to be based on being in the band this year and the experience that, doing the tribute has been, and I wanted to try and encourage people to make small change in their local communities, and I want it to be more of a story-based thing, and I wanted to talk about women in the music industry and talk about sobriety and rock and roll, and because I think there's this association that with rock and roll and stuff like that you've got to be drinking and taking those drugs and all that sort of thing, whereas my experience is exactly the opposite of that. So I kind of want to write something based around that, I guess.
Exciting times. If people want to find out more about your good self and the work that you do, is there anywhere that you might be able to point them?
So I've got a general website which is really simple. It's just my name, sophiesparham.co.uk, and facebook.com/Sophie Sparham Writer. My Instagram's just Sophie Sparham. Everything's just my name. It's really boring. If you want to find out anything, it's just my name. So mostly, that's that, I guess. So if you want to find out more, you just put my name into a search engine and hopefully something will come up.
I'm sure something will. So you're performing again at the Festive Fair,
Yes.
Padley Fundraiser and Alternative Market. That's on December the 1st, that's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else that you'd like to tell people about where they can catch you before the end of the year? Or anything else generally that you'd like to say before we say goodbye?
I don't know, most of my gigs are wrapped up for this year, but I'm going to be doing just a small gig on December it's either the 6th or 7th, it's a Friday, and it's called Poetry Nouveau, and it's just a guy, really nice guy called Accor, and he has people round, does this little poetry show in his flat, and people like bring a few poems and then they just discuss them. It's a space for like discussing new work and stuff, so yeah, so I'm excited about that, and then bring on the new year, I guess.
Excellent. All right then, thank you so much for joining us. It's been fascinating and really, really inspiring, and massive, massive thanks for all that you do in the community. You know, it is significant, and you know, you really deserve to be appreciated for everything that you do. So thank you, Sophie.
Thank you, James.
Respect everybody, spread the word, do all of the things that people tell you to do at the end of these sorts of interviews, whatever they are. Enjoy yourselves. Peace. Thrive together.